everyone, and welcome to Midgardia RPG. My name is Hikaru, and we're here today with Titan's Heir, the fourth part of our, well, fifth, if you can't session 0, I guess. Our campaign written by DM Dave and put together by Team Super Hydra on Patreon. Before we begin, I would like to briefly say thank you to our sponsors. Roll20.net is a great virtual tabletop solution for your online needs, where you can play pretty much any tabletop system you can think of, and they'll probably have a automated sheet where you can just fill in your character information and get playing. Or you can just play cards. You can just play cards on the virtual tabletop. It's as simple as that. You need to play with your friends. Go to Roll20. It's free. Anyways, these are my players.
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm playing Ziri, the Furbolg Druid.
Hi, I'm Sho. I'm playing Copper 7119, the Warforged Hollowed.
Hi, I'm Zayo. I am playing Ashanti. She is an Umbral Lurker Warlock and a half-elf.
Hi, I'm Nina. I am playing Tan, who is a halfling fighter.
Hi, I'm Michelle. I'm playing Zembrix, the Elven Ranger. Those who are listening, I'm putting that in quotes.
And this is Earl.
I love Earl. Hi, Earl.
Hi,
Earl.
Earl's
It's
best.
never a complete
Hi,
stream.
Earl.
M's familiar is here.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you started streaming? Let me interrupt the stream.
It's almost one of those things. It's like if Earl doesn't show up on the stream, something is wrong in the world. It's like that's like the cat and canary, you know. I don't know if you. It's like it's like the yeah.
He's here. He is purring. I don't know
Yeah.
how much the mic can pick up if I'm not talking, because this
He's-
mic is pretty good at sound cancel. Stop that. Leave the mic alone.
Oh, I love it.
Anyways, this is Midgardia's mascot, and he makes sure of it. It was his decision.
See?
Oops,
There,
for that.
say hi to the cat. Ah, beautiful.
What a good kitty.
He's such a good kitty.
Okay, so it's been a while. It's been like, what, 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
A while.
Since our last session?
Yeah, more weeks.
Yeah.
Do you guys
month.
recall what
Yeah.
happened last session?
Well, we found each other. That was great because
Yeah.
a couple of people got lost, but we won't talk about that.
Yes,
Um,
please. Moving on.
Moving on, we basically decided to go toward the pyramid. And we thought, hey, that would be a really cool idea. Then we found two individuals, man and boy. That's what they call themselves. They call themselves man and boy. And according to man, the people at the pyramid are all female and are interested in human males for various reasons. Well, probably only one reason. We decided we're not sure if we want to go to the pyramid or not. But then we heard about this monastery. And so we're like, okay, let's look what's at the monastery first before we just go straight to this possible pyramid of doom.
We take on a pyramid scheme.
I mean, to be fair, it might not be doomed for the whole party.
I just
True.
dropped my dice.
Why do you have dice with you, Karu?
Hold
Why
on.
not?
DM should have muted herself.
Yes.
We apologize.
Damn, it's not that smart sometimes. Hard.
I should have muted myself. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm like, I'm gonna roll real quiet, and it just rolled right off the table.
Our DM people.
Really
we love
swivel.
her.
Okay. Yeah, so you were all resting in a bit of a cave you had found, and had man and boy with you.
Yes.
What is he doing?
What is up with you, cat?
He was scratching at my door?
I was wondering about that. It's just sudden noises. All right, so man and boy, you had all taken a long rest because you had been traveling, and then man and boy came during the night, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
You all finished your long rest.
Mhm.
I will put you on the island map. All right, so you are traveling along the edge of the mountain range. You know that somewhere on the other side of the mountain range, due southeast, is the temple, the pyramid, whatever, the pyramid that had been drawn by the female warriors. And Man mentioned that there was a monastery that the temple females tended to avoid to the south.
And we decided to go there.
Yeah, go south first. Because, hey, what are they scared of? Maybe we can use that to, make them not kill us.
Or,
I think it was on the way anyways.
Yeah.
and at the very least, there might be things there that we could use in general. Restock equipment, weapons.
Possible. Yeah, you guys have been trying to salvage and look for things, so hey, abandoned monastery sounds like a good place to go salvaging, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
I need my
Okay.
bow.
I need something other than fist and club.
So what kind of travel speed are you going to be taking today?
Do we want to just do normal speed?
Yep.
Because we're a big enough
Yes.
group, trying to be stealthy is probably not going to work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only reason that we'd go slower is if we wanted to keep a lookout for something like supplies, food. How much do we
Mhm.
have on us?
We have a druid.
That's true. Never mind.
Yeah, but I don't know Pass Without Trace yet.
It was more
Well, but
food-wise,
that
you
was
have
More
good
of the
berry.
food and water.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you're like really soft on my end.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Nope.
Don't
It's
put
on
it too
everybody
close,
else's end.
because
No,
then
I've
you
been-
start breathing on it.
That's why I keep it above my nose.
Yeah. Okay. So, normal pace, you can travel 4 hexes in a day.
I think that works. What do you guys
Yep.
think?
I think so as well.
yes.
That should get you to the end of the range. Man does suggest following the range still, so not going directly south and following the mountain range.
To not get lost?
Correct.
That's good.
The monastery is still south, right? We can get to it if we follow the mountain range until we get there.
He said it was at the southern edge of the mountain range.
Okay.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
let's just follow the range and see where we end up.
Mm-hmm.
Get to around there or so.
Okay. Who is doing the navigating?
Why not our
Um,
ranger? Maybe with a little bit of help from our druid. That seems to
Yeah,
have been
I think
good
we've
thing.
been
I think
doing.
two of us probably are just kind of like maybe our default kind of just out in front people.
The naturey
Mhm.
people.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do it with help from. Yeah.
All right. So you have advantage on the roll, and it is a survival check.
You can use guidance too.
Oh, okay. Survival is there you are.
One more time.
And then I have guidance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Makes it a 13.
Okay.
Because of course.
13. Someone has a bit too many other things on their mind.
Do, 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 do.
Trying to do rangery things, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's just how it goes. All right,
Does-
so 13 is a failure.
Oh no.
You all don't realize this immediately, of course, but over the course of the morning, as the um, mist finally dies out completely, and when you stop for a midday meal, y'all realize you're not exactly sure where you are until you break through the cover of the forest and realize that you were actually heading a bit more north than you were expecting, because you are now in the mountains, at the foothills of the mountains.
Well, we see the mountain range. We are going along the mountain range.
A little closer than we had planned, isn't it?
It looks like we're kind of intersecting with them.
Well, now that we have found them distinctly, we really know how to follow along.
Yes, we need to go south.
Exactly. Now we really know
Which way is
how
south?
to get there. Mm-hmm.
If worst comes to worst, we have the high ground.
Exactly. Thank you, Zeri.
All right. Do you want to just take a bit of a break from leading? Maybe it's just getting, a lot of pressure after all. We're all relying on you. Maybe you just need a couple hours break, right?
Yeah, I have to admit, working with the group, this is new for me.
Yeah, it's fair enough.
Thanks, Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there still enough time in the day to make any more progress, or is this as far as we're getting for this day?
You do have the rest of the evening, so you could get about 2 hexes at a normal pace done.
Okay. Can I try and get our bearings and try and get us moving south?
Sure, give me a survival check.
Somebody like to aid?
We'll assist
Okay.
Ash.
Let's see if I can do any better. Knowing my luck is going to be garbage, but 16.
Okay. All right. So, 16. You get your bearings, and yeah, midday, kind of hard to tell where north is because sun is right above you, but you realize you've gone actually further north than you expected. But hey, like, it's just like
Closer to the mountains.
Zen said, it's just, now it's just a straight line south. You just have to make sure
that it's a straight line instead of curve.
It's a better guide.
All right, so you were planning to go south?
2 hexes. That is basically as far as we can go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zen. You got us closer to the mountains so we could make sure we were going south.
Glad to help.
It's a curious tone of voice. I don't recognize it. I'm just gonna kind of look at Ash a bit.
It's a specific tone that I'm very, very skilled at. It's just the way I talk.
Perhaps later you could teach me.
Sure, I'd be willing to try that. I'm sure you'd be wonderful
Hey, there's that
at
tone
it.
again.
Lesson 1. Recognizing that tone.
You speak more in that tone than without that tone, I think.
Yes.
At least you have in the last couple hours.
Yes, as I said, I'm quite fluent in this tone.
What's it called?
Sarcasm.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
And Car just rolled for shit.
All right. So, you travel at a normal pace. You have boy and man with you.
Oh, they're
They're
still coming.
both very quiet. Boy, especially. He talks to man sometimes. You see him like whispering to man. You do not recognize the language, however. It does seem to be similar to what you had heard, or at least Zen had heard the female warriors speaking in.
Is it getting like dark? Should we start looking for camp?
Yes, it is getting dark now, and so far you've managed to avoid any wild encounters. But it is getting dark, and you will have to figure out where you're going to sleep for the night.
Well,
We're pretty
Looking around
close
for a
to the
campsite.
mountains. We could
we
find
could
a
look
cave.
for a cave.
Could be
I'll
a little
try to
cautious
look around
about
for.
which. Or go ahead.
I'll start looking for an area that will make a good campsite.
Okay. What was
I,
that, Nina?
I'll
I
help.
point out we should probably be careful about what cave we pick because we had a couple of kobolds take out a few of our people that we were kind of trying to avoid. So just maybe be careful.
Fair enough.
Okay. Well, thanks to Ziri's keen eye and knowledge of where best to rest, you all managed to find. This time, it's not a cave as much as a small glade with a against a rockfall, and you managed to find a good place to hold down for the night.
And we do our usual watch pattern.
Yeah. We should have that written down somewhere.
Yeah, we should.
I know I go first.
I go second because I think I'm the only one in the party with dark vision.
Yeah, and then it's Ash. And then Ziri, which watch do you take? Who do you?
Or towards, I think, the like the really late evening or early morning. So like third probably.
Okay,
So,
and then
yeah.
Copper.
I
What do
just.
you?
Well, I don't technically have to sleep. I just have to spend time inactive, so I could probably aid where
Probably
needed.
Ash.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
He technically
Nope.
doesn't have a disadvantage on perception checks while resting because of his
Because I just have to be
warforged.
inactive.
Yeah, it's kind of like I think it's even
Trance.
better than the trance of
It
the
is.
elves
It is.
because they
Because
don't.
I'm not technically unconscious and I can still hear and see as normal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after you all settle down and have your good berry meal, and everyone goes to bed except Ash, man approaches and like sits with you.
I'm not the first watch, Karu.
Oh, who was
Yep.
first watch?
Zen.
Karu is Zen.
Zen. Okay. So he sits by Zen. Goes, so where are you from?
Uh, across the sea to the mainland. City of Great Wall.
Great Wall. Is it named that way because it has a great wall?
Used to be the greatest wall. At least they thought so. But now there are other walls that make that wall not so great. But the name stuck.
I see. And you all said that you came here by ship?
Yes. Some of us, like me and Ash, Tan, we came by a regular boat. The other two came by an airship.
Oh, so that was what crashed. There was a big crash and smoke. We
Yes.
thought it was some kind of bad thing we didn't want to approach. But I need to get Boy off the island. He is important. So I don't know what will happen in the following days or when your rescue will come. But please take Boy with you. I would like to go too, but Boy is my priority. Should anything happen, he needs to stay safe.
I understand. We do want both of you to go with us, but I know stuff happens. So we'll make him a priority. Do you remember where you're from?
No. No, it's been too long. I maybe had a name like you people do. I don't remember that anymore.
You know, the great thing about names is that sometimes you can close your eyes and you can look inside of yourself, and sometimes a name comes to you. Might not be the name you were given when you first came into the world. It could be something else. So if you like to for us to call you a different, you know, you can name yourself. It's
I'll think about it. Thank you.
and tell Boy the same thing.
I think Boy is still learning about himself and the world. Maybe he'll find a name for himself. But it might take a while. He has more than the average child to learn.
May I ask if it's was he born with gifts?
Yes. A great, burdensome gift.
All right. We'll help him. And well, I know what it's like. You have to make sure you don't fall into the wrong hands. I know what that's like. And I don't want to speak for the others, but I'll do what I can to make sure he doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
Good. I I don't think the warriors of Grihu are the only ones who would use him. I think there are many out there who would want to use him. And he is still too young to decide for himself what he wants to do or who he can trust.
I understand that. I understand that a lot. Yeah. Yeah. I'll make sure.
Thank you. And he heads off to rest. There are even more cats on this stream. All right, so who had second watch? That was Ash.
Yeah, that was Ash. Sorry, I was just fixing a thing on the overlay.
Okay. All right, so Ash, during your watch, it's quiet. The fog seems pretty thick, and that kind of mutes even the normal sounds of the forest. Give me a perception check.
I hate when DMs ask that during watch. Oh, show. Just asked, Would it be with advantage since Copper is with
This
me?
is more for to see if you see something.
Okay, I figured I'd ask.
So, yeah.
18.
Okay. You watch, and like half an hour into your watch, you feel like something's watching you. And you turn towards where you think this like sensation of being watched is, and you see two glowing eyes just staring at you from the direction of where everyone else was sleeping.
So wait, are the eyes between, like, are the eyes past where everyone is and they're between me, or?
They are coming from the same general area where everyone is sleeping. Do you have any lights up?
Why would I need lights up?
Okay, I was just asking.
My dark vision is just nuts. I'm gonna slowly stand up and move at least a bit towards the eyes. Mostly just try and get myself between the rest of the group and the eyes, because I can defend myself. I'm conscious. They aren't.
Mm-hmm. So these little pinpricks of red just like follow you as you move, and then kind of approach you slightly. And in the darkness, you see the outline of a 10-year-old boy.
Can't sleep?
He kind of tilts his head.
Right. We can't talk. Damn it. I don't have any magic that can let me talk to you. I kind of use prestidigitation to make the image of a sleeping person and then make an X through it and then a question mark, like, can't sleep.
He kind of nods and then kind of gets this like thoughtful look as he approaches and kind of like sits beside you. And let me double check something. Okay. You see what you kind of recognize because of the fact that you have some familiarity with magic is a like spark of magic happening, as if he cast a spell. But he didn't say anything. He didn't grab any materials, and he definitely didn't speak.
So he used no components?
Correct.
Huh. Interesting. I just point to where the spark was and then make a question mark with prestidigitation, like, huh?
You see him kind of, his face kind of register like the fact that he understands what you mean by questioning, but he just smiles at you, like grins.
Brat.
Oh, now it goes mischievous.
Are you having fun?
He nods.
Okay, so you can understand me?
It takes him a second, but then he nods again.
But you can only speak that weird language?
Nods.
I can't remember. Did we test out languages we could talk to?
Yeah. It's none of the languages that the party has.
Okay. So I was like, damn it, I wonder if he speaks other weird languages.
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 20.
Okay. You feel as if someone's trying to probe into your mind, and you push it back. And the boy kind of frowns a bit and kind of pouts.
Okay, kid, I'm gonna be honest, you really don't want to go into my mind. That is a bad and possibly dangerous thing. You don't want to deal with that shit. Bad all around.
He draws the same questioning mark that you showed him earlier on the sand.
I use prestidigitation to, like, make a little me. It's, like, obviously me just because it has the ridiculous scarf that Ash has. Like, it's very simplistic, but scarf, so
Stick
it's Ash.
figure with scarf.
Yeah. So I do that, and then I point towards the head, and then I make this weird black thing, and just make it kind of look scary, and then an X through it, and then it's like, no, bad.
What are your surface thoughts before and during that?
Probably just, she's seen fucked up shit. She doesn't want Tiny Child to see fucked up shit.
So you think of certain fucked up shit.
Yeah, basically.
Oh no.
She's not good at this.
Boy looks surprised and like slightly confused, but you can tell from like his expression that he saw what you were just thinking of.
That's literally what I didn't want to do. Wait, how do you do that? Karu, do I know about magic like this?
Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, this is gonna go maybe decently. Okay, fine. 23.
Very decently.
Yep.
As decent as I can be.
Considering everything he's done so far and what he seems to be picking up from you, it's not that he casts Comprehend Languages, he casts Detect Thoughts. He's reading your surface thoughts, and then he's using that to, like, get what you're saying. Because Detect Thoughts doesn't have a language barrier.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, he tried to probe deeper, because that's something that Detect Thoughts can do, but...
Do I know how powerful Detect Thoughts is? Like, is this something a child should be able to know?
What level spells do you guys have?
1.
Okay. It's slightly beyond what you can do right now. It's not a first level spell, and it definitely has components.
Yeah. I'm really curious as to who and what you are, kid. But seriously, I don't want to call you boy. Do you have any other name I can call you?
Nope, he shakes his head.
Do you want a different name or just boy?
He looks kind of curious and tilts his head at you.
Do you like any colors? Food? Favorite thing?
He cups his hands together and makes a illusion of fire. There's no light to it because it's just a cantrip, but
having a tiny child say they like fire is concerning on multiple levels, but okay.
It's also not surprising.
Okay.
And you also realize he just did that also without any components.
Yeah. This is fascinating. She thinks this is really cool and interesting, but it's like, okay. Names. What names work with fire? Ash just starts listing off a couple names, like, I think Agni is a word for fire. Morn, Sargat, Itman. And she just starts listing off names she can think of that are fire related. And like as she's doing that, she's counting on her finger. So if he wants to indicate one he likes.
You start going off with the names, and then after a minute, he goes Agni.
Okay, I'll call you Agni.
Agni. He guys starts Agni. Agni.
I just give a thumbs up.
And for a moment, he goes like Agni.
Gotta be quiet. And we'll let everyone else know in the morning, okay? This kid is adorable. Okay.
Okay. God, you guys are gonna end up teaching him words. All right.
That's a bad idea. But at least he has a name now. I mean, it's the Midgardia tradition. We either adopt animals or we adopt people, mostly children. No. It is a tradition of any Midgardia long-lasting game that we have to adopt a child or an animal. Or both.
Or both.
Preferably
all right,
not at the same time, but likely.
He ends up curling up beside you and falling asleep.
Oh.
Well. I'm fine with this. At one point, like, again, ridiculous scarf. At one point, I used, like, one end of the scarf to just kind of be a half blanket on his shoulder, at least. Because I'm not taking it off, but...
Yeah, remember, he's only wearing a loincloth.
Yeah. Listen, I don't really have much else. We were all shipwrecked.
Mm-hmm. So by the time Ziri wakes up, he finds these two just curled up, Ash sitting against a tree or something, or a rock, and the boy just curled up beside her.
Ash just waves.
You two getting along there?
Apparently. I'm gonna try and get sleep without disturbing the kid.
Try not to wake either of you up.
Thanks, I appreciate that. And Ash just tries to get comfy without waking the kid up.
Okay. He doesn't seem very perceptive. Like, you manage to adjust yourself with no problems. Either he's deeply asleep or he's not that light of a sleeper.
It's a sleeping child.
Yeah.
Yep. Dead to the world. All right, so Ziri, is there anything you want to do during your rest? Since
just keep as much of an eye out as possible. If the skies are clear, maybe just do a little stargazing. If nothing's standing out of place.
let's see how the mist is pretty low right now, so it clings to like the first maybe up to 5 feet within the forest itself. And because you guys are near the mountain itself and above is clear. You can see the sky from the place where you're all resting, but you would probably get a better view if you clambered a bit more to the top of the rock fall that your party is sleeping against.
Yeah, I'll climb up a little bit.
Okay, yeah, you get a pretty good view of a cloudless sky.
I'll do an augury and try to determine if the basically, yeah, just is this monastery safe or dangerous to go to?
Okay.
Will we find safety or danger there?
How does that work again? You get like a one word. Is it like the spell?
The augury spell.
You get nothing.
Not especially safe or not especially dangerous.
Correct. So not good, but not bad either. So.
Or in the knowledge that there is nothing horrible potentially awaiting us there, I'll just take the rest of my time, just keep an eye out during my watch.
Okay. And morning awakes. Well, you awake in the morning. Morning doesn't awake. That's not how mornings work, I don't think.
We don't know how this world works completely, Karu. You never know.
It's true. Maybe mornings do awake here. And because you have a DM that, oh, okay, I finally rolled something other than nothing interesting weather-wise.
I'd rather have nothing interesting.
Well, there's like there's like a greater chance for nothing interesting happening weather-wise on this thing. But the day awakes, uh, regular temperatures, not much wind at all, but it starts to rain. It is a light rain, not a dense rain, but it's just enough to, feel uncomfortable. Just that like light pitter patter that sometimes like it'll stop for 5 minutes and then it'll come back a bit harder and then it'll just be like those like light spring rains.
Angry grumbles.
I have never been happier that I've been waterproofed.
You hear equally unhappy grumbles from beside you.
Morning.
He says something in another language.
I don't know what you said, but I agree with it. Oh, by the way, hey everyone, kid has a name now. Do you want to tell everyone?
Agni.
That's a nice sounding name.
He nods.
I look over at Man and I'm like, see? I look over at Man and it's like, what I was talking about.
Man's like, where did he even get that name?
I asked what he liked, he showed me fire, and I listed off like 24 names that have a fire meaning, and he picked one.
Of course he'd pick a fire name.
Why? Curious.
He seems to have a affinity for fire.
Okay. Well, I basically just listed off as many names as I could think of that were related to fire, and he picked one.
Fair enough. And he looks to the boy and says something in the other language, and the boy kind of nods and grabs this like little piece of leather and starts casting a spell. This time actually speaking. And you see a like shimmery, like fiery effect go up his body and then just disappears.
That was cool.
What was that?
What was that card? Did I recognize it?
Give me an Arcana check.
I definitely did not. I'm not even gonna bother.
21.
While the fiery effect is new, You guess that's probably just his like way of like his magic flair, you could put it. But he definitely just cast mage armor on himself.
You can cast mage armor? That is awesome. I can't do that.
Man just looks at you and goes, "Well, it'll keep him protected in case anything happens."
Oh, yes, I absolutely agree. Hopefully nothing happens, though.
Well, from what the stars told me, this place doesn't look particularly dangerous. The monastery doesn't seem particularly. It's going to be particularly dangerous. We shouldn't have too much trouble.
That is good to know. You speak to the stars?
More like they speak to me.
Either way, I'm not sure how much I trust that, but let's get going.
Well, it takes him about like 10 to 20 minutes to put on his hodgepodge armor because he definitely doesn't sleep in that. And then you guys get going and heading south. Who's navigating?
Take a crack at it today. I figured since it's raining, we can also use that to fill.
I'll help. You know, I
water
think I
skins or
need to
anything like
learn. I need to learn how to help. So today, I'm going to help Ziri. I'm going to
Okay.
help. I'm going to learn how to help.
All right, so Ziri, you're the navigator for today.
14.
You have aid.
You have bandit. Yeah.
Okay.
14.
We'll do the first one.
Okay. Okay. Given where you are, I'm going to say that's barely passing. And you were traveling at a normal pace?
Yeah.
Okay. So you travel for about half a day before you see that the mountain range. I was using the wrong tool. You see that the mountain range starts to finally not head south, but turn slightly to the east. And as you're doing that, you get to a place that, while the mountain range has stopped and you seem to go a bit further south, from the mountain range, you leave the forest for the first time. This area is grassland. And there seems to be a chasm separating, going south for a while. It seems to end before it reaches the coast, but there's this like deep chasm. And as you approach the edge of the chasm, you can see in the center the monastery.
Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
We've found it. Yeah.
So
Just need
the
to find a way
chasm
down there.
is 60 feet wide and deep enough that you are pretty sure a fall would be deadly. In the center of this chasm, there is a single pillar of stone that rises from the mists, and this whole area has mist even in the middle of the day. And you see this ancient monastery flanked by 220-foot tall statues of bird-like humanoids, flanking a kind of sort of bridge made of thick vines and tree growth.
Is there like a path down, or
Is that bridge our only way?
Yeah, so you are approaching from the south side of this map.
I see black.
I'm assuming you're still adding our tokens?
Yeah.
This is a cool ass map. Holy
oh
shit.
wow.
Yeah, That's amazing.
Oh, wow.
God, Catherine would be all over this.
So yes, you come along and you can see that the road towards it has these old, overgrown with moss, like stone lanterns leading the way down the path to the edge of the chasm. And yes, the only way to cross is taking that bridge between the two bird-like statues. This place is covered in a light mist, so it makes it a bit hard to see. But you can see that on the other side there are 3 pagodas that seem long abandoned.
When we take a look at the bridge, does it seem sturdy or?
As far as you can tell, this seems thick and old enough that the growth is like it's basically roots going into the stone itself. So it looks sturdy enough. It doesn't look like it's like a flimsy bridge or anything. Like it's probably something like 10 feet at the least thick in any portion of it.
Wow. So, are we gonna cross?
Yeah, I am.
This is really cool, but kind of nuts at the same time.
This map was made by Zetbeku. They make awesome maps.
Car, did you put my token over there?
Did I?
Nope.
Doesn't look like it.
I'm seeing
That-
black on my own roll 20, but
Heir forgot a token.
Oh,
There we
the
are.
tiny
There we
token.
go.
Oh, tiny.
Alright. I need to. Okay, we're gonna archive you. There we go. I had an extra character, and that was throwing me off.
Is that
All
supposed
right.
to be man?
Man is in the back, and boy is the tiny token.
Okay.
Both of them kind of like stick to the back and go, and man kind of looks at you all and goes, "We'll wait on this side of the bridge."
Fair enough. Be careful.
Yes, be careful.
And they just like go against the ledge there where it's a bit more protected. There's not many places here to hide, but they at least make themselves small against the cliffside. Given that there's a lot of mist, at least they have that to help cover them. You'll start to cross, and well, it feels a bit odd, especially knowing that if you fall off this bridge, it is basically death. It seems firm enough that you managed to cross.
I'm gonna cross slowly to make sure that nothing comes out of nowhere.
I basically let Copper go ahead because if something's gonna break, it's gonna be by his weight. By their weight.
Yep, that's fair.
Yeah, that's true. As long as you keep to the center.
Yeah, I am keeping to the center. It's just roll 20 is being a pain.
It seems to sway a bit and creak, but you manage to make it to the other side.
Cool.
Does it look like anyone has passed over this bridge in a while?
Give me an investigation check.
3.
Hard to tell. Lots of mist, and this thing is like, as far as you can tell, no.
May I attempt?
You're already on the other side.
I know.
So you get to the other
Well,
side. Sorry?
As I'm crossing, can I like look down and see if I see anything like moving or just like peek behind us and around us and just be
Sure. Give me
cautious?
a perception check. Okay. You look around, and it is hard to see for long distances because of the mist that seems to cling to this area. But as far as you can tell, no one's following you or watching you besides the two that you left on the other side of the bridge.
I make anything out of this? Was it a rock there or something like that?
It's you could almost say it's a small statue of sorts. It's been weathered away and eaten at by nature so much that you can't really tell what it was supposed to depict. So it almost looks like a rock, oddly shaped, like someone, like a kid trying to make a statue out of clay and then kind of gave up halfway through.
The others.
All right, so you make it to the top, and you see that there are two side smaller pagodas. I'm not sure how to pronounce that word.
You're doing it right.
Okay, good. They are open to the elements, so you've got like the pillars in the front. They have a wall in the back, and may have once been used as just like to do to leave offerings or something, because there's like a stone like table in the center, which has been weathered away. But other than that, they don't have anything inside them. The
So
central
it's
one has more walls, so it's got three walls, and the front is open. This one also seems to be empty, but is rubble in the middle where the others have stone table.
So it looks like that if this one had a stone table, it was broken.
Perhaps.
do we want to take a look at it?
I mean, if nobody's going to stop, me, Copper is going to just go right up.
We don't stop you.
Okay. Going to very carefully approach, take a look, see if anything's out of place or if anything could be salvaged.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
Cool. 18.
Okay. You look around the broken stones on the floor, and there is two things of interest, or more. First thing you notice is that there is a breastplate armor amongst the rubble. And on the front of the breastplate is a symbol of a helmet with a sunrise behind it. And it seems to look similar to the symbols that were in the sand in front of the temple.
Okay. All right, I will very
Just
carefully.
a few feet away from that, you also find a sword of Personian make.
All right, I will very carefully gather them up, take a look at them.
They look old.
Do they look serviceable at least?
Probably. Yeah. It looks, despite the fact that it looks so old, the blade does not have any rust on it.
Whoa, that is unusual. No rust, no sign of weathering. How's the edge?
Looks like it could use a bit of sharpening, but otherwise, this
Okay.
is a remarkably functional blade, despite how old it looks.
All right.
The other thing you find amongst the rubble is that there seems to be some of the rubble is not actually rubble, but might once have been a tablet that was broken.
Ah. Okay, I'm gonna look back and be like, looks like a tablet might have been broken among the other stuff around here. I also found these, and I'm gonna hold up the sword and the breastplate. They're in surprisingly good shape, considering how old they are.
Well, the armor is rusted. The sword is not.
Oh, well. Does the armor look like it could function at all, or does it look like it's trash?
Well, it's rusted, so it's probably not going to give you much. It'll
Hmm.
probably break at the first hit
Yeah.
of a solid weapon.
Okay. I will. It's a shame that I don't actually have time to do anything with smith tools. Not like I even think I have them, but I'll return to the rest, particularly looking around if I could read any of that stuff on the rubble that might have been the tablet. Might have been a little bit more worthwhile.
There seems to be like the tablet pieces seem to all be there. It looks like you could probably reconstruct it with
Okay.
a bit of work.
All right.
Oh, so if we all got together and did the puzzle, like
Mm-hmm.
found pieces and
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff, if we work together, we can do it.
Yep. Yep. Definitely. So you all gather inside the temple, inside the center pagoda, and start putting together this tablet. By the time you all manage to, actually, give me a group check. This will be an intelligence check.
Ooh.
Let's see how good you all are at assembling
Just-
puzzles.
Just
God.
intelligent?
Mhm.
Straight? Okay.
I'm not that intelligent.
It's okay. I made up for it.
I'm not. Just tell me what to pick up.
I rolled a
Just
9.
point. Yeah, I wrote a 7. So
Who's missing? Oh, Nina.
Hey.
All right, there you go. All right, so with a bit of work and some instruction from your companions, you manage to reassemble the tablet. There's two things you noticed. First, that seems to have chiseled into it a symbol that looks like a star made of tangled serpents. You also realize that what was confounding some of you was that there's a portion of the tablet in the center that seems to be that what you at first thought was a missing piece, you realize as you put this together was a secret compartment, so that there was something hidden inside the tablet. Whatever was there is no longer there. Yeah.
What size was that hidden compartment?
I would tell you if I knew, but I don't even know how big the tablet is. But I'm assuming it's something small that would fit in the palm of your hand.
Okay. And was that compartment circular, square, rectangular? Does it matter?
No.
Okay.
Is it just single room pagodas on the inside, basically?
Yeah.
So no like stairs down or anything like that?
Do you want to check for that?
Yeah.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
I'm outside. Apparently that's all I know.
As far as you can tell, this place doesn't seem to have anything other than just these three buildings. And while they're pretty old, they've withstood the passage of time. And you're like confident that like anything that would have been like a secret entrance, given the fact that everything is crumbling a bit and you have a lot of like moss growth, that you'd be able to clearly see a secret entrance. And clearly there's no secret entrance here.
Hey, Karu.
Yes.
You said that there was a symbol drawn in the sand
Mm-hmm.
outside.
Yeah.
How? I'm kind of curious because how would that have managed to survive? It couldn't have survived that long unless there was something protecting this from like the wind and everything.
If I'm not mistaken, the idea is it was etched into the ground and there is sand on top of it. So you've got stone ground and then you've got sand.
That makes
on top of it.
so the sand is filling in the thing. to
Yeah,
try
so
and-
you could clear the sand to see a bit more clearly, but also it's been worn away by time. The fact that there's sand on top of it pretty much indicates this was probably really bright at
At
some
one point.
point, but
Yep.
you've got sand and wind just blowing on
Mhm.
top of it constantly.
Okay. So it was just a weird descriptive. All right.
Yeah.
Could I brush any of that sand away to get a closer look at the symbol?
You can, yeah, and it seems like it's the same symbol that was on the breastplate.
Okay. Does it look like there's anything around it, like a seam or something,
The symbol on the ground.
or just anywhere around that could have been like another place to either store things or another place? Because this is a place of worship, but if
Mhm.
people were here, they might. If it's a monastery, there had to have been somewhere else that they would go to sleep.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
8. I'm distracted by the sword that I finally have in hand.
Your idea is mainly that this was probably a, like, you know how you put the temple outside of wherever you live and you go there to do certain things? This is not anywhere near where these people would sleep. It would just be a place where you would
Make a
come,
pilgrimage.
yeah,
Offer
maybe
his
make a
worship.
pilgrimage. The fact that, like, you also have the whole, like, big bird-like guardians there, and this doesn't look like the entrance to a village. It looks like some place in a difficult to reach point where people would come to pay their respects to whatever god was here.
Okay.
Uh, sorry, Zio, I did not see you. What do you want to do? Okay. Um, show the sword is a long sword.
Okay.
All right, so give me an investigation check.
Oh God, please no. God.
The mist is confounding you all.
Wow.
What good is dark vision if you've got mist in the middle of the day?
Can I cast destroy water and destroy a area of fog up to 30-foot cube just to try to clear some of this out and make it a little easier to look around outside?
30-foot cube. Sure, I'll allow that. So you, like, grab, like, you just destroy the water in the air.
It literally says destroy water. You destroy up to 10 gallons of water in an open container. Alternatively, you destroy fog in a 30-foot cube within range.
Yeah, that would work. All right. So what's that? So you could do
Clear
it
some of
like,
this out away here.
what square are you doing? Because it's a 30-foot cube is on the side, right? So it would be like there.
By 6. Wherever the area that Ash was looking around, like sort of, she was like
So
now,
more
like behind the
like
building, so.
towards the buildings.
Uh,
I mean, if you cast it more than once, you could do more than one area, but so you want to do like the area around the main pagoda, for example, because that would be and like you
yeah,
could
we'll
get
do
it
that.
just behind it. Okay. You cast your spell, and the mist dissipates around the main pagoda. And the rest of you kind of look up as this happens, and you see now, perched on both edges of the main pagoda, female warriors that have been hiding behind the figures on top of the building.
Hmm.
And as they see that you have all spotted them, they kind of jump down to either side, weapons drawn.
Oh, I know this. I can do this. Weapons
No. Oh, hold on. Hi. I'm Zenbrix. You are.
They look at you and they say something in a language, in the same language that you've heard boy speak.
Mm,
And they kind of wave their weapons at you and then point at themselves and then point past the pagodas.
pass back the way we came.
No, towards the other side.
Question: do they look like the woman I met?
Not the same woman, but dressed in basically a similar attire.
Oh, what is it with this place?
They look like they look hostile, or they're just like gesturing us for us to go back across the bridge.
They're actually telling you to go past the pagodas to basically the north side of the chasm.
That's where we know that their temple is, right?
Approximately, yes.
Roll with
Okay.
Ash.
All right. Well, come in
Right.
peace.
I'm kind of narrow. Well, I don't have eyes. I can see, but I'm just kind of watching them.
They don't say anything, but they make sure you're all following as a group. And weapons still out, but more of like a kind of intimidation, like authority figure. You have to do what I say right now, or else then I'm about to hit you pose. They lead you around the pagodas and into an area, and you see there's a cave in the cliff wall.
Mm.
Through a brief cave onto the other side, and you can see a narrow bridge of stone between that and the far side of the chasm. And they point to you to cross that.
Okay. Does it look sturdy? Like, is it a regular bridge?
It looks sturdy enough.
You said it was made of stone, right?
We have Copper go first.
Seems I'm the weight tester.
I mean, to be fair.
Yes.
It's true.
Ziri actually weighs more than Copper.
It's possible.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure Copper's not that.
Anybody, I should be going across first.
How much do you weigh?
I mean, that's kind of a personal question. Like three. I'm very, very large.
Yeah,
So
but
he's like
I'm
7'3". I think he weighs about 320 or something like that.
okay. Yes, you
No,
definitely are.
7'2", 304.
You definitely are heavier than Copper
Mm.
is. Copper's only 286.
I'll go across first, and I've been trying to basically just get as good of a mental picture of these figures as I can as I do.
Okay. So they wait until you cross and then cross behind you. But as you, Copper, as you reach the other side and to the safety of solid ground, you see that there's two more of these women waiting for you.
Mm-hmm.
And as you all cross, they start leading you through into the forest towards the east.
All right.
Yep. I'm on edge, and I'm absolutely prepared just in case this turns into a fight. Uh-huh. Hopefully. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You travel for
How
the
much time
rest
has
of the
passed at this
day.
point?
Sorry?
So how much time had passed at this point?
You arrived at the monastery about midday. Um, by the time you're crossing the chasm towards the east, it's about 2 hours after midday. And they pick a pretty fast pace and seem to know their way through this forest very well. Um, does anyone want to try and keep track of where you are?
Yes.
Would like
Well,
to. Yes. How can we do this?
I'd
Just tell me
Copper,
what do we roll?
can Copper
So-
casually etch some trees as we move past?
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure. Someone give me a survival check.
I'm presuming as many of us are going to aid
My
as we
God.
can.
Wow.
Same bad roll I had before.
Ah,
There we go.
11. Oh my god. Well,
Nice.
2 of us know where we're going.
There we
I
go.
rolled- Wow. The rolls I've rolled today is a 10. It's great.
That's rough.
All right. Since you are not leading, it's more of keeping track of where you are, and for the most part, they seem to be heading directly east, following the forest, and they seem to know their way around. You at one point see them skirt around an area with the like weird holes you saw,
The snakes.
and you see them kind of pause for a second and do like a um almost like a genuflection gesture towards it, and then they keep going. And by the time night falls, you're deep in the forest, and they pick a place, and they tell you all to basically stay. Two of them disappear into the forest, and two of them start to sit. One of them actually climbs a tree and sits down there to keep watch. They just stare at you. And it's kind of unnerving because it doesn't seem like they blink. They do, but it's like staring at a cat.
Oh god. So they blink as soon as you turn away, but not before. Are their eyes?
And
I-
it's
I-
like talking to a wall.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they don't seem to understand you. And honestly, the expression you get from him is that they don't really care.
All right.
It's a very neutral, like, just I'm staring at you and I'm making sure you're not doing anything weird. But other than that, like, yeah, kind of unnerving. They're also very still. Like, they have that, like, monk, like, not, no extra movements. They don't fidget. They just sit there.
Oh. They go into an inactive state. I also go into an inactive state. It's like head facing them, eye contact, but just like statue.
That's fantastic.
Drawing contest.
No reaction.
Yeah, no reaction from them either.
I think
I
he
can do
would.
this for 6+ hours. And I and
Yeah, I think they would.
I legitimately cannot blink. I
It's
don't have
true.
eyelids.
Hmm.
Right now you just see like a face mask, like a full armored helmet.
Do you not
With-
have like any kind of like dim lights for the like when your eyes are
Oh,
active?
two glowing blue orbs in that. That's all you see.
I mean, you can always turn off the glow for like blinking.
Why? That serves no purpose.
It's true.
That is inefficient.
And generally, people blink to moisten their eyes. I don't need that. That would, but then that would be made up by the fact that I had to exhaust power to blink to shut a faceplate and unshut a faceplate. I won't. And I haven't moved this entire time. I've just been speaking.
I think we should guess eat and sleep. Yeah.
Waves his hands and makes any nearby plant sprout some berries.
Did they react to that?
Yes.
How did they like reach for their weapons?
Yes.
I eat one and I just take another one and like offer it to them.
Because you have extras.
They shake their heads. They shake their heads and kind of like point their weapon at Ziri and shake their head stronger, like, and then do like a
No
cross
magic.
motion with their hands.
No
Oh.
All
magic.
right, no harm meant. Do we see them like in this time? Have we seen them like eating at all or doing a kind of food
During the
preparation or anything?
travel, no, but two of them had disappeared into the forest, and about an hour later return with small game. And you see them, the two that are not keeping watch on you, start preparing a small smokeless fire that they cook the meat on. They ignore you. You feel like a ghost. Which makes it easier to ignore, I guess. But yeah, they've got that whole like you're doing things and you're talking to them and they're not even looking at you. They're just going about their business as if you don't exist. They don't seem to react to anything you say.
Or yeah, or they're just pretending.
Could be.
I'm sure Silver's be like, Ash, do you really want to ask that in public?
I'll ask them in Druidic, where are you taking us? And see if that gets any reaction.
Nope.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, not like it's unlikely that they will, as I speak in Dwarvish.
Once the meat is cooked, they give a portion to you and the party, and then they quickly eat and leave the rest for the two that were keeping watch, and they basically switch over who was watching.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, but not bad. It seems like they used some like spices or herbs that they've gathered from the forest, but it's it's a very different taste. It's definitely probably better than what you guys have because you probably have been salting your food, and that's about if you got some salt from like.
No, that was when the two people died.
Yeah, that's true. So it tastes probably better than what you normally have.
Tastes better than berries.
Definitely. Berries may fill your stomach, but it's like it's just that one little squirt of taste when you eat it, and then it's
And that's
like
all you get.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's psychologically unsatisfying.
Yes.
Yeah, no. Having actual food for once is refreshing to Ziri.
Well, at least you guys, yeah, because while you're traveling, you've all been depending more on good berries than hunting.
Mhm.
That's fair.
I'm just gonna hand whatever portion they give me to whoever wants it. That's the first movement that I've made since I settled down and started watching them.
They kind of look curious at you, but then just go about their business. All right, you all take a rest, and I'm assuming you all take your turns, despite the fact that these
Yeah, we
women
don't
seem to
trust
be
them
also
to
watching.
not do something to us in our well.
Another pair of eyes is always helpful.
I mean, it's true. All right, so the next day they set another pretty faster pace than you're used to, but because these people know the forest, um, they seem to know exactly where they're going, and that kind of accelerates it. The day has a bit of a wind, so it's a bit cooler, especially because it's also still raining.
Ugh.
Second day of light rain, and you've got wind now to cool you off, thanks to the water. um, are you guys keeping track of trying to keep track of the direction you're heading in?
Yep.
Let's
Give me
see.
a survival check.
With advantage for whoever. Oh. Oh, okay. I guess we're just doing.
Oh, I got 19 this time.
Hey, you're more rangery
Yep.
than usual.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
picking
not.
up.
Yeah.
Like, listen, this is not what I was designed for.
Yeah. Overall, you know you're heading west, I mean east, but not exactly like I don't think you could necessarily retrace your steps unless you manage to keep track of the trees that Copper has marked. But they're how obvious are you being about marking a tree?
Mm, that's a good question.
Because when you guys were alone, you had the chance to just stop and mark a tree in a way that you could see.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Probably just like not very stealthily. Just like every now
yeah.
and then lashing out with a hand. Not even gonna bother with the sword or the club.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
traveling. Am I able to? Can I like try to occasionally like look behind us and see if anyone's trying to follow us?
Sure. Give me a perception check. Okay. 26. Do you actually use guidance?
Oh,
I would
remember.
try
Okay.
again.
Uh, what does your guidance look like? Because I know you're not exactly a priest.
Um,
How do you implore nature for help?
would I guess he would basically like be fiddling with his like a star map that he carries with him, just like occasionally like turning around, almost like Rubik's cube style, like flipping it around upside down, turning it, just trying to like find especially like pleasing way of holding it or something that provides some inspiration to him.
Mm-hmm. And you also mumble some because it does have a verbal component as well.
Mhm.
I think, given the way guidance doesn't have very like visual effects of a spell going off, I think they don't realize that what you're doing isn't necessarily a spell, especially given that it's druidic magic and not arcane. So nothing happens. You do notice that there's you have all thought that there's four people follow it, like escorting you. There's actually six. But there doesn't seem to be any signs of man or boy following behind.
Well, That's good.
And
That's what I was
considering
hoping
that
for.
until you were especially keen looking for anyone following you, you didn't spot these warriors. You get the idea that they may have chosen not to follow you, the other two, because then the
They might have
women
gotten
would
captured.
find them.
That's honestly what they should be doing.
At the very end of the day, when the sun is dropping finally and everything is tinted in oranges and yellows and reds, you finally clear the forest, and ahead of you is a large temple made of stone, sandy looking stone, climbing up into the sky. The pyramid that you had seen, or that you had been told was in this area.
Mm-hmm.
And the women begin to lead you towards this temple and inside. And that's where this part ends.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
They were never seen again.
We were never seen again. And you are now level 3.
Great.
Yes.
All right.
I could be a scout.
So, when we come back, next time we wake up, I definitely have 2 longswords instead of 1.
Well, to begin with, I really hope the next part actually lands this week so we can prep for a session. um, thank you to DM Dave and the group behind this, Team Super Hydra. And the map that you guys saw today was by Sebeku, and they've got amazing maps. And I think I know which temple maps they're going to be using for the next part. And I'm looking so forward to that because those are so fucking cool. So yeah, go check them out on Patreon. And other than that, we do have our Patreon ourselves. You can find quite a lot of content, including maps made by me, assets, and some campaigns that we run that are Patreon only. You can follow us at patreon.com/Midgardia. You can also see more of our videos at youtube.com/Midgardia, or follow us on Twitter on YouTube. That's not right. Twitter.com/MidgardiaRPG. Thanks for watching, guys, and tune in again on Friday to watch more Dungeon of the Mad Mage, where our party will be fighting a vampire and possibly a shadow dragon.
We're not fighting the shadow dragon.
That's nice. The shadow dragon might be fighting you, though.
Anyways, bye guys. Thank you for
Bye.
watching.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye.